Fasting for fitness is revolutionizing the health industry. Beyond just helpful for physical health, fasting can kickstart your spiritual health. Intermittent fasting is everywhere right now, making big health claims backed up by research and personal testimonies from celebrities and personal trainers. Fasting undoubtedly provides great benefits to our physical health, and it also provides great benefits for our spiritual health. But lately, this seems to have been a practice that has been largely forgotten, especially for those who follow Jesus, like myself. It's just not a topic being talked about in churches right now. But for me, it has been the most powerful spiritual exercise I have ever practiced. And so I want to talk to you about it. Quick definition. Fasting is the voluntary abstinence from food for spiritual purposes. Without a spiritual purpose, it's not fasting, it's starving. Not eating and fasting are not the same thing. We don't eat because we're too busy. We fast because we need to slow down. We don't eat to lose weight. We fast to lose ego. We don't eat to keep resolutions. We fast to break addictions. When we don't eat, we have an empty stomach. But when we fast, we gain a full spirit. A little more on what fasting is not before we talk about what fasting is. Fasting is not easy. It's difficult to go a day without food. Without food, we feel hunger pangs early and often. The food around us tempts us. When I fast, I often find myself mindlessly just picking up food, and I have to literally remind myself that I'm not eating. It's not easy to put it back down. Fasting's not easy, and that's why it works. When we feel hunger pangs, it reminds us to pray. When we resist the temptation to eat food, our resilience against all sorts of temptation is strengthened. And when you have to remind yourself that you're not eating today, it reinforces the words of Jesus. Man does not live on bread alone, but the very words of God. Fasting's not easy, but we can do hard things. Here's one more thing that fasting is not. Fasting is not for the elite. This is so important. Fasting is not for the elite. The first person that comes to mind when I think about fasting is Gandhi. We're tempted to think that since we're no Gandhi, then we shouldn't fast. But fasting is not for the spiritually elite. Jesus assumed that every single one of his followers would fast. So when Jesus said, when you fast, don't be like the religious elite who make a big show of it, Jesus used the word when, not if you should fast or you should fast. He said, when you fast, assuming you would. Fasting's not for the elite. That's why it's so accessible. Even the poorest of the poor can participate. The uneducated can participate. And here's an important, never talked about idea. Even the wicked can participate. Fasting is just as much for the wicked as it is for the righteous. We eat to satisfy our hunger for food, and we fast to feed our hunger for God. Are you spiritually unfocused? Try fasting. Are you tired of living each day and never having a spiritual thought? Try fasting. Have you done something you promised yourself you would never do, and you fear that Jesus could never forgive you? Fast. Not as an act of penance, but so your soul can hear from Jesus and know the grace and forgiveness that he offers. Fasting's not for the elite. It's for those who have lost their hunger for God. We eat to satisfy our hunger for food. We fast to feed our hunger for God. No matter who you are, the benefits of fasting are the same. Fasting forges a spiritual connection between you and Jesus. Fasting reinforces your belief that Jesus is the most important thing in life. It focuses your prayer life, puts you in a position to receive wisdom, and it empowers you to break free from harmful behaviors. It trains your soul to persevere, and it opens you up to understanding the forgiveness of God. When you choose to abstain from food for a spiritual purpose, it's powerful. Try it. What do you have to lose? You've lived your life for too long doing the exact same thing every day. Make a change. For a day, fast. Here's how you can get started in 3 easy steps. 1, ease into it. No need for your first fast to be 24 hours without food. Work your way to that. Start by going a day without social media. Experience a digital cleanse. Next time, try fasting a meal and spend that time praying instead. Then, fast sun up to sundown and praise God for his beauty seen in the sunrise and the sunset. Then the next time, try going to bed hungry and pray for the poor. Maybe at some point, you'll face something in your life that would cause you to fast for 2 days, 3 days, even a week. Start small and ease into it. Number 2, set a purpose. Set an intention for your fast. Do you want to see a greater desire for Jesus in your life? Do you want to break free from addicted tendencies? Do you need wisdom or direction? Do you need forgiveness? Is there something urgent in your life that you need God's help with? Something that you're losing sleep over and you're having a hard time eating anyway? Identify your purpose and let that purpose motivate you. Number 3, make a plan. Decide what you plan to go without. And this is important. Decide what you're gonna do instead. Instead of eating lunch, I'm going to pray for my family. Instead of looking at social media, I'm gonna read the Bible. Then set the date and the time frame, and then do it. For me personally, fasting has kickstarted my spiritual growth in seasons where I was feeling when I was hitting a patch of bad luck and I doubted God. I fasted and my doubts were relieved. When my dad died, suddenly, I was mad at God and I wrestled with him while fasting and I came out with joy. When I needed direction in my life and I was annoyed with God's silence, I fasted and found my next step. When I broke a promise to myself and I sinned against God, I fasted and was able to comprehend the forgiveness of Jesus, and I was able to forgive myself. Find out firsthand how powerful it is to abstain from food for a spiritual purpose. Let's go, let's do this. If you like this video, please help me out by liking, subscribing, commenting, and sharing with friends. I'm committed to creating weekly inspiration to become fully alive. Stay in touch with me and follow me on Facebook and Instagram, or come visit me in person at my church, Friends Orange. If you want to contact me, you can find that information at jhewitt.org.